We are live again.
From U.S. Bank Stadium in
Minneapolis,
Minneapolis,
between the Tennessee
this
Titans
is the
and
National
against the
Football League.
Minnesota Vikings. We are live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Sorry guys, I have to restart because it kicked me off. So I'm going to let this go and see what I have to do.
We'll see Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings taking on Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans. U.S. Bank Stadium holds just under 70,000 spectators, and they've come out in full force for this one. A fantastic atmosphere here in Minneapolis. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle with the Tennessee Titans. Dan Bailey now put the ball in the air, and we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. Khalif Raymond now. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Titans set to take over behind their quarterback, Ryan Tannehill.
A terrific athlete, started at wide receiver before becoming the starting quarterback at Texas A&M, and also took his studies pretty seriously as well. He was a biology major at Texas A&M, planned to become an orthopedic surgeon. Being the 8th pick in the NFL draft, that pick just a little bit better.
Now a first down throw, Tannehill. Short throw to Smith. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on: catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Ball gets to 26, 2nd and 7. Here's Tannehill. He'll get this one complete. That's A.J. Brown. He's picking up the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. With Minnesota's offense and QB Kirk Cousins set to go here.
Leadership skills apparent early in his life carried over not just in high school but in college, where he was a 3-time captain of the Michigan State Spartans and learned the art of the comeback early in his career there, and actually capped off his career with a big comeback in a bowl game before going off to the NFL.
Now the first carry from Dalvin Cook. Touchdown. Dalvin Cook, 39 yards. And the Vikings have taken a first quarter lead.
Well, that's how you take advantage of an early turnover. A sudden change situation, meaning ball's turned over. How's both sides going to handle it? One side handled it way better. They went right out on the field and put the ball in the end zone.
One play, that just added insult to injury.
Yeah, that just tells you on the defensive side, they didn't come out ready to go, still reeling from the fact that the ball got turned over.
Dan Bailey now for the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. So they have paid their just one play. Scamper, nice field. For the touchdown. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. Here's Khalif Raymond to return. And he tackled just shy of the 25. On the return, the Titans take over first and 10.
The Titans coming back onto the field for their second drive. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions. Some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself some for defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum. And when they take it down, people punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
You're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you. I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Here's Tannehill. The Vikings have driven and they get there for the sack. Play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, we'll see the result. Send it back its head.
So 3rd and long after the sack. Tough task for Tannehill and the Titans. Tannehill now throw. Pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Protection just went out.
You gotta have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Last year's All-Pro punter Brett Kern on to punt for Tennessee. K.J. Osborne deep from Minnesota. Coming just inside the 30. 50 yards on the punt. With 7 on the return. The Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The Minnesota Vikings retaking possession. And this is a team you remember playoff squad a year ago. But into the win column for the first time in 2020 week 4, beating winless Houston 31-23. And the offense came alive. Dalvin Cook, a huge factor week 4, 130 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and Adam Thielen CD had his second 100-yard receiving game of the season.
And don't forget the rookie Justin Jefferson out of LSU, the first-round pick as a receiver. He's gone over 100 the last 2 games as well. And introduced, what do they call that? The gritty dance? Is that what he calls it? He's introduced that to the NFL as well. So just when everyone figured out how to floss, now they got to figure out how to do the gritty dance. And Justin Jefferson says, I'm just getting started as a receiver. Plenty more coming. Now that the Vikings team is off the schneid, in Seattle on a Sunday nighter, home for Atlanta before their open week 7. I think Mike Zimmer, the head coach, was really pleased, Brandon, how they won this last game. That was more Sim style. Running the football, it's a good defense when they needed it.
They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
An extra defensive back out there for the Titans now here for 3rd down. From the gun, here's Cousins. It's Jeffrey Simmons that time who got in to record the sack. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Here's Britton Colquitt to punt this one away.
change in possession here on the punt. And that will come the offense as they take over. Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively. This is their third drive right now. Maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
The pass there over the middle to start things out. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Derrick Henry. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. We get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And they'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A gain there of 21 yards. Yeah, we're down on the field watching Henry warm up before the game. He's a big man. No wonder he breaks those tackles.
And you remember what I told you when we were watching? It's not all pads. And you get him out of pads and just see him in a regular suit or an outfit. He is a huge human being and a lot faster than what people know. When he gets rolling, he's a lot to bring down.
A solid run by Derrick Henry, and here's another 1st and 10. On 3rd down. 10. Let's get to the right side. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 21. 17 yards on that play for the Titans. Tennessee.
That's a nice catch there. Remember, he had the fumble earlier. No way he was giving up the ball in that situation. Secured it tight to his body and picks up the first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. He's got the first downs, but I think the ball's out. And the score is the Vikings. He had the option there, decided to keep it, exposed himself and fumbled it.
Yeah, and you worry about the hits he's going to take in that situation. In this case, not only does he take the hit, he coughs the ball up, as you noted.
And now out comes Minnesota. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball to their territory. Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
They just can't go backwards from here. They did it. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on 2nd down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd 8. Cousins gives way to Cook. Shreds the tackle. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with 3rd down and just a yard to go.
Right there, we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. They're going to get the first down here across the 15-yard line. 3rd down turns to first with that 5-yard pickup.
It's pretty evident when you watch how Minnesota plays, just how important Dalvin Cook is to their offense. A 1,000-yard rusher a year before the first one. The Vikings Vikings had it since Adrian Peterson was dominating their carries and have been cooking the lineup for the bulk of the season. That made Minnesota exactly what their head coach Mike Zimmer wanted them to be, a much more physical team that complemented their defense.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Give to Cook out of the gun. And not a whole lot to speak of there, so bring him down shy of the 20. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
2 yards on the pick. Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
2nd and 8 coming from the 19. They'll try to throw now. Cousins. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays I'm eating over in your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary here. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, and they'll try to tighten things up here for this next play. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he's very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be in 4th so short. The screen gets 7, but it's not enough. And it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion. What you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now Corey Davis and the rest of his offense getting ready for their next drive. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And the guys on defense are aware as well. And they're really excited he has no catches, but they're also worried because a lot of times it's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game. We'll remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of his 1st half of action. Now this window is running back out of the backfield. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. 1st down.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
On 1st down, Tannehill. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Corey Davis, the intended receiver, but it'll be 2nd down. CD, I want to sneak in a little NFC East talk here. I don't know what to make of this division. Through 4 weeks, they are combined 3-12-1. The Eagles will actually be the division champs right now at 1-2-1. Washington and Dallas 1-3. The Giants certainly not out of it, even though CD are 4 right now.
Yeah, this is unbelievable when you think about it. If we were talking soccer, we'd be talking relegation, wouldn't we? Would this division even exist next year? But there is potential there. The Eagles came alive with a big win on Sunday Night Football, beating San Francisco in San Francisco. Washington, they're trying to hang in there. Dwayne Haskins has to play better. Dallas should be the team that got to fix their defense. And the Giants, they may be 0-4. They're going to fight hard. I don't think they're contenders in this division.
Yeah, he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. Tannehill finding Davis for a Titan first down.
First down. Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
That wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy. He came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Tannehill on first down. Smith catches left side. Now Tennessee going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. First and 10, Tannehill. They still can't get it. They'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on first and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incomplete, or even worse, an interception.
7 at the 25-yard line. Throwing again on second down. Tannehill. That's caught on the right side of Smith. He'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. 5 yards picked up on the play. And it's third down. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. Out of the gun, Tannehill. The kicker here is complete. Now the Titans will use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Here's Tannehill. This is caught. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. So we've reached halftime with just the 1 touchdown here. 7-0 is our score. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. It was Dalvin Cook who did the job in that first half. His guys have the lead as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. But we won't quite make it to the 25.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10.
Now come the Vikings, they'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters, I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half. This is for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
a catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. This one taken in by Olabisi Johnson. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of first. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a fourth down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. This is taken at the 15. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And possession will switch hands first and 10. The Titans offense gears up for their first possession of the second half. Their defense just came up with a stop right out of the locker room, and now can the offense take advantage?
Yeah, we don't want to turn this into something that it's not. It's only a one-score game, so it's not exactly a crucial possession. But at the same time, they'd like to get things started and at least come away with 3 points. Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defender to grab as well.
Right there is able to connect. And he'll be pulled down as a penalty flag will rain in as well, and that would appear to be a face mask.
Defense.
So that flag across to 15.
It doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out harm's way with a first and 10. After the penalty, it's Henry. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. The tackle made by Todd Davis. They tried to run it to the short side of the field. There just wasn't a whole lot of room to work with.
Yeah, it seems like things just kept getting strung out towards the sideline and kept looking for a spot to dive up into the gap. There just wasn't one, so that turned into nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
End of game. And Warhammer drops incomplete with his infection.
Another attempt, another incompletion. When I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of the playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points. And the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
They set up the screen for Henry. Now, he will be very close to a first down, but I see the close fist of the referee, and that means fourth down. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for fourth down.
And I believe that gain on third and long changes things quite a bit because this would be a very long field goal. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for it here.
Here's Brent Kern now, as he'll take it away for the second time. And it's a fake here on 4th and inches. And that'll be intercepted by the Pro Bowl safety Harrison Smith. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Intercepted. The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 14-yard line. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense back on the field. And we'll see if he opts for a heavier dose of running plays because running is where they've had more success than in the passing game.
And the way they've spread it around to different people running it as well. It's not just been one principal guy who's carried the thing and moved the game forward for them. And the other touchdown is going to go forward. I think he's going to stay with the game plan. Take some pressure off of him as a throw.
Team effort, and they're winning on the scoreboard. With that, let's look ahead to Week 5, Charles. Some of the big games coming up as we continue into October. It starts with a good one Thursday night, 3-1 Bucks. The 3-1 Chicago Bears. That's Brady versus Foles. I'm sure we'll hear plenty about that. And then Indianapolis and Cleveland, one of those teams, Charles, is going to be 4-1. What else do you have on the docket?
Yeah, well, don't forget Minnesota. They're coming off their first win. They go to Seattle. It's 4-0. That's a Sunday nighter. And then the Chargers in New Orleans on Monday night. I think Justin Herbert having to face Tom Brady and Drew Brees in back-to-back weeks, not something you would dial up. But this kid seems up to the task. He's played well despite the fact the Chargers have struggled with their record.
That last completion, certainly not what they were hoping for, as now they'll try to convert on third. Now Cousins. Incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Yeah, but the defense certainly did its part to gallop the football. Yeah. But you're exactly right. It looks like they have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. Britton Colquitt now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48. Back over first and 10. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with it.
And this is intercepted. He was trying to get it to Davis. 42-yard line. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily, I also wonder if it's going to unnerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one? Or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
Trying to fire up that running game with Dalvin Cook. Sean Evans out of Alabama had the tackle defensively.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out. And they gave up no cutback angle. You know he's trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
From the 39, Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up third down.
Now Cousins here on the bootleg. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. It's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. That was his first catch so far. They held it under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
I don't care how you look at it, how you cut it, how you parse it. Adam Thielen continues to be an absolute marvel, coming from where he did Division III football to being one of the top receivers in the NFL. That's going to be vital for the Vikings in 2020 to keep number 19 on the field, especially since he lost his old running mate Stephon Diggs to the Buffalo Bills. An hamstring injury last year really had his numbers in check. His lowest receiving yardage since 2015. Look for another breakout for that.
Touchdown. From 21 yards away. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Extra point try by Bailey. And it's good to make it 14-0. So that's right, 4 plays. That's correction. Bailey now to kick it away after touchdown. Logan now on return. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 27-yard line. Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively. They're staring at a 2-touchdown deficit, 14-0 to score as they regroup with first and 10. They'll try and get the run game going. This is Henry. He'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Second down and 7. From the gun, here's Tannehill. Short throw to Smith. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. Going for it. They snap it to Tannehill. And that is incomplete. The Titans try it, but they fail on fourth down. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on fourth.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now, really hoping for a turnover. Draw play, Cousins to Cook. Inside the 20 before it's brought down. It's a game of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
So from inside the 20, here's first and 10 at the 18. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And it's caught. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the one. Now having first and goal following that gain of 17. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it. They got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for second down. If they want to take another shot and try to loosen things up, that'd be the time to do it.
They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. They've got 3 tight ends here on first and goal to add some extra mass. They'll run for it with Cook. And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. No gain on the play. It's going to be second and goal.
This is where coaches have to spend a lot of time going over situations with their players because them getting tackled there is not the worst thing in the world. You're going to run more plays, right? Clock's going to go. But his thought process is getting to the end zone. It's counterintuitive for him to actually go down in this spot.
Yeah, but like you said, you don't want to get me in trouble too early here.
No, not at all, because you may leave it open and they can come back and get you. His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Big play coming here. It's third and goal. Cook on the toss left. He'll get it in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Able to punch it in on third down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a fourth down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating what we have to make the call. They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
Bailey now for the extra point. He's now 21 to get the drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. That'll be taken about a yard deep. They ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. First and 10. At their own 20. The Titans getting set to go. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
A shotgun snap for Tannehill. To the right to Humphries. And past the 40. The 40's out of bounds. An excellent way to start the drive there. 18 yards. 18. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agree. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet in bounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the second foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 in bounds in the NFL.
Well, he challenged the play. They did not do it.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup. Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now, they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Tannehill giving this complete to Smith. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 11 more on that one and another first down. And offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Tannehill throwing complete to Davis. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. A gain of 9.
One of the feature points of the end route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long to get his receiver on there into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he gets receiver hit and hit hard.
And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. Again, 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions. And just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
Line of scrimmage to 15. It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Tannehill. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there on 2nd down. The trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give a Scotia credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. That's complete. Right around the 8. Able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. The Titans efficient passing on this drive. There's another first down.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Open man is Davis. He's got it for the Tennessee touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown catch. The Titans were able to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Now Stephen Gostkowski on for the extra point. It's up, it's good, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. So that drive in total 8 plays, and it ends with a Tennessee score. So 2 scores down, time definitely not alive. Here comes the onside kick. And the Vikings hands team able to recover, and that should just about do it. They needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point, as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show.
And he's taken down inside the 30. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. Now Tennessee going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go. Victory formation time for the Vikings as they'll take a knee here. Now the Titans will use their third and final timeout as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. And with a 3rd and 13 here, the defense in a dime look. Cousins is going to take this one down to a knee and end it.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left hand. And all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaunt. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Vikings as we say so long from Minneapolis.
Right there with the Vikings winners, 21-7 over the Titans. Not in this game, and I'll be back with another live video doing my Week 6 NFL picks. So let me set that up and I'll be right back.